actually sponsored by West Orthodontics.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Plemmons with you here today from Mount Pleasant as the Tigers take on the Colts from West Stanley. This is not a conference matchup as it once was. This was a pair of teams that played many years together in the Rocky River Conference. Now Mount Pleasant in the Yadkin Valley, and the Rocky River still the home conference for the visiting West Stanley Colts. We've had the national anthem played by the Mount Pleasant Central Cabarrus Marching Band, and we expect to have the coin toss coming up here just in a couple of moments. We've got West Stanley captains have been out on their sideline ready to go. We're waiting for the officials to get to midfield and the Tigers captains to come out. Pair of teams with conflicting records. The Colts coming in at 0-4 under their new head coach, Ralph Jackson. Coach Jackson had been down at Anson County prior to coming. Replaced Coach Brett Morton. Coach Morton had some health issues and resigned at the end of the season last year after missing the final 3 games of the season and a 5-6 season for the Colts. Mount Pleasant, coming off a disappointing finish a year ago, comes in 3-1 record. That only blemish, a 16-14 loss last time out against the Northwest Cabarrus Trojans in a game that the Tigers felt like they probably should have had, but came up a little short late in that football game. Again, see the Tigers coming out of the locker room down to our right, the field house. They've got the inflatable Mount Pleasant Tiger ready to march through, and they'll be coming out onto the field here just in a moment. Across the way, West Stanley, 4 captains for today's game. They've got, we'll check those as we can see the numbers. But again, they're still across the field. One of those captains is Mason Hill, a tackle. Also captain for, well, we'll wait till they get a little closer to midfield where we can see the Tigers captains coming out as well. One of the captains for Mount Pleasant looks like number 42, that will be Chase Thomas. Number 2 is Kinzer Flynn. Number 3 is Cameron Shatari. And the final captain for Mount Pleasant is Lane Honeycutt. And we'll get those West Stanley captains as we are able to see those numbers. And again, they'll be out in midfield ready for this one just in a couple of moments. Lots of games going on across the area today in Cabarrus County. John Von Cannon on the call over at Concord tonight. That's, again, Concord taking on East Rowan. And also we've got South Iredale at West Cabarrus. A.L. Brown is hosting Hickory Ridge. Northwest Cabarrus hosting South Rowan among the games that we have tonight. We'll try to follow as many scores for you tonight as we can as we continue along. In those captains, we gave you number 71. Looks like number 2, Ben McLemore. Now the Tigers are standing between us and the numbers, and that's the way it goes sometimes. We'll look and see if we get that other one. It looks like number 56. I don't see a 56 so on the roster that we have. The referee today is given the instructions. The visiting team will get the call. Taking just a little bit of time here at Mount Pleasant. We're a 7:30 start here at Michael John Stadium, Larry Honeycutt Field. A lot of the other Cabarrus games starting at 7. So West Stanley wins the toss. They're going to defer. One of those other captains is Jackson Griffin. And also number 19 is Jonathan Moran. So there's your captains for today's game. Mount Pleasant going to be in blue, gold numbers, white pants, white helmets. West Stanley green breeches. They've got white jerseys with green numbers and, of course, the green helmets for West Stanley. The teams headed back to run out onto the field with their respective teams now as the captains have made their way there. Again, we'll be trying to keep up with some other scores across the way here this evening. Had a nice cheeseburger before we went on the air today. Here come the Tigers running onto the field. They burst through the banner, and Coach Daniel Crosby's team ready to go. They had the Tiger Walk a bit ago, coming through the fans, headed down to the locker room from the school. Coach Crosby had his son on his shoulders, leading the way down. So just about ready for this one to start. Coming on this season, West Stanley's lost 4 games. They have one common opponent so far with Mount Pleasant, that is Carson. They lost to Carson 38-14, while Mount Pleasant had the season opener at Carson 31-14 with the win. The other losses for West Stanley, a tight one at South Stanley 16-10, 33-14 loss to Albemarle at home, and then a double overtime loss to North Stanley 38-37. That was a week ago. And again, West Stanley in the Rocky River 2A, 3A conference, and Mount Pleasant in the Yadkin Valley. Tigers sending the kick return team on. They're going to deep to receive Ethan Dempsey, and also number 22, and that's Jackson Burris. They're standing inside the 5-yard line. We'll check the kicker for West Stanley as he gets out there and tees it up. Their kicking team has yet to get on the field. We expect some scores to be coming in pretty quickly here, as this game is about a half an hour start later than most of the games across our area. They're going to tee the ball up at the 40-yard line, as it'll be Jonathan Moran. Moran got some bright orange cleats on, neon orange. It's like a left footer as he's marking it off, and we're just about ready for football here in Mount Pleasant. When the referee blows a whistle, we'll be ready, and they are ready to go. High end over end kick, short. It's going to be fielded at about the 12-yard line, straight up the field, 30, 35, 37-yard line taken down there for the Tigers is Jackson Burris. So Burris got off a good start for the Tigers out to the 37-yard line. First down and 10. They line it up, a single back in the backfield, a couple of slots on either side, a couple of receivers, one to each side. Dempsey comes in motion. They're going to hand it off to him. Cuts back, 40, 45-yard line, maybe just shy of the 45. Dempsey just motioning through, takes that jet handoff, and they give him the 45, so it'll be a pickup of 8, second down and 2. Playing quarterback today currently is Jacob Regal. Regal trips right. Now stoppage of play by the official. And we've got West Stanley calling timeout immediately. I think Coach Jackson saw, or his defensive coaches saw something they didn't like in the early going. Tigers came out basically with a no-back look with Regal. Of course, we've seen Regal as a running back this season. Regal listed on the roster as running back, defensive back. So the first time out taken by West Stanley, and they took it early, 11:31 left in the first quarter for the West Stanley timeout. Second down and 2. The ball's at the 45-yard line for Mount Pleasant. Tigers moving from right to left as we look at the action. Regal's going to send a man in motion, going to hand it off to him. Good running room, 50, 45 across midfield as the give that time was Aiden Smith, and Smith gets the first down. So the Tigers have their first down. Again, Regal continuing to work at quarterback. He's got Smith lined up as a wing on the right side, just off the line of scrimmage. Trips to the wide side left. Regal just going to tuck it, running off the right side, picking his way along for about 2.5, 3 yards. It'll be second down at 7. A little twist at the end there as the players battling hard. Second down at 7 at the 42-yard line. That is the West Stanley 42. We're just underway. 10:44 to play first quarter. Tigers with their first possession. They're looking to the sideline for the play to be flashed in. Blending out wide to the left is Cameron Chitari. Got 2 other receivers on that side of the field. Now Smith in motion. High snap, but they're going to give it to Smith. Smith being strung out across the line, and it'll be taken out of bounds near the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. Third down and 6 from just shy of the 41-yard line. Good job that time. The West Stanley defense over on the left side just kind of strung it out. Ball's on the far hash mark as we look at the action. Smith's going to be a wing on the left side. They're going to bring now Chitari back to the opposite side wide, so 2 receivers in that short side. They'll bring Dempsey in motion. They'll hand it to Dempsey, looking for a cutback lane. He's got it. Got the first down, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. He's going to be bumped out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. It will be first and goal for the Tigers with a big third down conversion. Ethan Dempsey had a small crease. He was very patient about it, and he accelerated when the hole opened up and immediately started flying downfield. 9:20 to play first quarter. Tigers knocking at the door. First possession. First and goal at the 10. They'll send a man in motion. That's Smith. Smith sweeping left, looking for a block, cut back to the goal line. No signal yet. Touchdown. Aiden Smith, a 10-yard run for the Tigers. And we've already got a score here on the board. 9:04 to play first quarter. Mount Pleasant with a 63-yard drive. Aiden Smith, a 10-yard run. And the Tigers will be going for the extra point. It'll be Braden Sellers kicks it through, and it is 7-0. So Sellers with a kick. It did not take the Tigers long to get on the board. 7-0. 9:04 left here in the first quarter. Aiden Smith with a 10-yard run. A couple of big plays in that drive. The kick return, of course, by Cabarrus that set him up with good field position. 2 big runs for Dempsey and a couple of other hard runs for the Tigers, and that's how they got it down the field. Did not throw a single pass in the drive. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by the Independent Tribune, Cabarrus County's newspaper, independenttribune.com. Also brought to you by Cannon Pharmacy and CannonPharmacies.com, by Carolina Pizza Huts, PizzaHut.com. Great time to order. Anytime you get inside the Pizza Hut at Red Zone, we'll try to remind you of that one. Also brought to you tonight by Wilkinson Funeral Home in Concord. Another sponsor is the Carolina Renaissance Festival, opening up October the 5th. Tickets are now on sale, and those will be weekends through November, October and November. Coming up in November, we've got the Southern Christmas Show, and also BenMonit.com. Their halftime show, of course, sponsored by BenMonit.com. Shop, click, and drive. We're ready to go. There were a cluster, as the PA announcer described it, and then they spread out. Sellers will kick it. Kicks a twisting kick to the sideline. It gets past the first back. It's going to roll dead at the 8. He'll be picking it up there, back toward the middle of the field to the 10, and he'll be taken down inside the 10 as he tried to avoid a Tiger. The return, Mason Jackson. It was just kind of a knuckleball that hooked past Jackson. Jackson had to go all the way back to the 8, and essentially that'll be no gain on the return. Start at the 7-yard line. Contrast that starting field position, the 37 for Mount Pleasant. The first possession at the 7-yard line for West Stanley. Colts will send 2 receivers right. They're moving from left to right as we look at the action. 1 receiver far to the left. Quarterback's going to hand the ball off quick inside, a couple of yards. Looks like across the 8, maybe to the 9. We'll call it second down and 8. No, excuse me, gain of a yard. We'll call it second and 9. R.J. Keith, the running back, that time. Bring up second down and 9. Got a score coming in as John Von Cannon just texted us. Concord 14, East Rowan nothing at the end of the first quarter. So the Spiders jump out quick. The work shotgun, again handed off to Keith. Keith is knocked down after a little better gain. He got out across the 14, and that's going to bring up now third down. The line to gain is the 17. Need 3 yards. Ball just about in the middle of the field at the 14. It's a big play for the West Stanley offense. You do not want to have to kick away on a 3 and out this deep in your territory particularly. And again, lining it up. Hudson Snyder looks like the quarterback. He's got a man at his right side. That's Keith. They'll hand it off to Keith. Trying to bounce it to the outside. Nothing doing. Taking the tackle was Kinzer Flynn for Mount Pleasant. He came up. Kinzer Flynn just made a tackle for loss and will force a punt. The loss is 4 back to the 10. A good solo tackle because if he gets past him, he may turn the corner, may have pretty good yardage. As it is, it's punt formation after a 4-yard loss. Ethan Dempsey standing at the 42-yard line of West Stanley. We're waiting for the punt. About 3 yards deep in the end zone. Good snap. They return it, or set up a return. It's a short, wobbly kick. Takes a big bounce. It's going to go across the 45. Dempsey gave it a thought and gets away from it as it rolls across the 50 in great field position for Mount Pleasant at their own 48-yard line. So the Tigers have the ball. They're on their second possession at their own 48-yard line, leading 7-0. They got a 63-yard drive to start the game, capped off by a 10-yard run by Aiden Smith. We'll keep you up to date on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard as our scores come in. Here's a run for the Tigers. That's Regal. Regal crosses the 50 to the 46-yard line. Regal has his helmet pop off, so they're going to have to get a player in for him. Tigers a little frantic on the sideline, putting in a couple of subs, and looks like they'll get ready to go in plenty of time. We do not have a play clock on the field, so we'll have to continue to look at the back judge when things start to wind down. Second down, the ball at the 46-yard line of West Stanley. Tigers showing that power formation. It's like a power. Actually, this is even different than what we've seen. 3 fullbacks and a quarterback. The quarterback was Dempsey with a direct snap. Dempsey to the 42. They're going to say 43, so he's a yard short. Third down. That was a shoestring tackle away from possibly a touchdown. Oh, they are going to mark it at the 42, so they say first down. It looked like for a moment they're going to mark it back at the 43. Again, they'll go with that power formation, 1 wide receiver, 3 backs in front of the quarterback. They'll snap it again, and that's Dempsey. Dempsey to the 39-yard line, picks up 3, second down at 7. Looks like Regal's back in the lineup now. taking a couple of those big backs out, 42 and 44. That's Chase Thomas and Maddox Barrier. 3 receivers and a slot back, split wide right. Regal, the left-handed throw, gets it out to Dempsey. Dempsey's headed to the house. There's one man, no chance to beat him. End zone touchdown. I thought for a minute if he had the angle, but Dempsey beat him to it, and the Tigers take it 39-yard pass play. That goes Regal to Dempsey, and just like that, it's 13-0. And Mount Pleasant with that lead, 4:42 left here in the first quarter. Sellers on to attempt the extra point. He's made one so far today. Snap, spot, the kick is up. It's a low line drive. That is no good, wide to the left. The kick failed, 13-0. That was a 52-yard drive for the Tigers. Didn't have a chance to get into the Pizza Hut red zone that time. Ran right through it on that 39-yard pass play. Just looking to see if we've got anything on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. Northwest Cabarrus playing South Rowan tonight. We've got a score coming in from A.L. Brown early on. A.L. Brown with a 7-0 lead over the Raging Bulls of Hickory Ridge. That, again, came up, I believe, at Memorial Stadium in Kannapolis. They kicked that one off at 7 o'clock. And still looking for other scores coming in. Don't have any right at the moment. Again, the Tigers will kick it off for a second time. They've had the football twice. And that is... that's it so far. High, short kick. It's going to be fielded at about the 25 and then taken down as it crosses the 30. Tigers tackle on the play was by number 22, Jackson Burris. Mason Jackson with the return. Better field position this time for West Stanley. They'll take the football for the second time at the 32-yard line. First down and 10. West Stanley with the ball. They started their first drive at their own 8-yard line after a mishap on the kickoff return. They'll send trips into the short side right, one receiver wide side left, moving from left to right. Going to hand the ball inside and run it hard just right into a blue wall as the Tigers stack him up, throw him down at the line of scrimmage.
Number 20 on the run for the Colts, met by an ambush of Tigers.
And that is R.J. Keith with the carry again.
Number 44, Maddox Barrier, amongst others.
Barrier, first man to make contact for Mount Pleasant. Second down and 10. I hand the ball off again to Keith. Keith, good running room this time off the left side to the 39-yard line. Picks up 7. That's going to bring up third down and 3. Check it, 38-yard line. So third down and 4. Ben McLemore's running. No, check it. We thought we had a different quarterback, but no, we do not. It looks like Hudson Snyder continued at quarterback. Send a tight end in motion. They hand the ball off and nothing doing. Again, the first man to meet him was Kinzer Flynn, and there were a big number 78, Jacob McCoy, in on the tackle. It's a loss of 1, fourth down. And for a second time, it's going to be a punt formation coming for West Stanley. Dempsey will stand back inside the Tigers' 40-yard line. Good snap. They peel back at a return. It's a high floating kick. Fair catch called for by Dempsey, and he makes it at the 36-yard line. So that'll be the 36-yard line for the Tigers. They have started at their 37, their 48, and now their 37-yard line again. So great field position. Possessions for West Stanley have started at their 8-yard line and their 32-yard line. Looks like Regal again at quarterback. Going to have Dempsey at his side. He'll hand the ball off to Dempsey. Dempsey sweeping to the right, picking his way along, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing, and West Stanley strung that one out very well. So second down and 10 for the Tigers. One of the few times they have not had a positive play. Ball's at the 37-yard line, far hash mark. Again, Tigers in the first quarter moving from right to left. 2 minutes, 9 seconds, ticking away first quarter. 13-0 Tigers. No backs in the backfield again. 3 receivers. Now they'll just tuck it and run with it from the quarterback, Regal. Regal, 45, 49-yard line, first down. Jacob Regal just tucked the ball and ran. One pass play so far in the game for Mount Pleasant. It turned into a touchdown on just a little short throw to Dempsey. 49-yard line of the Tigers, first down and 10. Under a minute and a half to play first quarter. Regal's going to send Smith in motion. The ball bounced on the ground. Regal picks it up just like a dribble to the 50, to the 45-yard line. And Tigers were real fortunate on that one. He had a high snap, tried to hand it off to Smith. It got knocked straight to the ground and bounced straight back up to Regal, who just followed up in the hole and got a 6-yard pickup. Second down and 4 at the 45-yard line of West Stanley. Well, you can't get much luckier than that, because that ball could have been kicked around or could have been fallen upon by a Colt, and kind of feel a snake bit if you're West Stanley on that play. Again, empty backfield. 3 receivers, 1 left, 2 right, then got a wing back. They'll bring the slot receiver from the right in motion. That's Dempsey. Dempsey with another hold. 40, spins out of 135, 32-yard line. Ethan Dempsey, another good run.
Ethan Dempsey, nice move, good enough for another Tiger.
Dempsey looked like he was going to be hit, got a little 360 move, and next thing you know, he's 6 yards down the field. That'll be the last play of the first quarter, looks like. As we go to the second quarter, Tigers are going to be threatening at the 31-yard line. At the end of one, it's Mount Pleasant, 13. And the West Stanley Colts, nothing, as we head to the second quarter. Today's broadcast brought to you by the Carolina Renaissance Festival. Weekends in October and November. Go to renfestinfo.net to get all the details. And they have got a lot of stuff going on. And again, tickets available online now. You got to get those tickets before you go. On our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, again, Concord 14, East Rowan nothing. That's at the end of the first quarter. Cox Mill and Mooresville. Mooresville 14, Cox Mill nothing. 1:59 left in the first quarter. And also, let's see what else we've got on our scoreboard. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we have got the BenMinot.com halftime report. Over at Charlotte, Mallard Creek 6, West Charlotte nothing. Rocky River 8, East Mecklenburg nothing. Monroe and Porter Ridge are tied 7-7. No score between Catholic and Providence. Again, those scores coming in. It looks like Mooresville has scored again, 21-0. Here's a lateral to Dempsey. Got a man there, but he outruns him to the sideline, looking for a block to the 25. It seemed like a really slow play, but it turns into about 6 yards. Second down and 4. That's a lateral that time, so that would be a running play as they just kind of threw it out, got Dempsey in space. They're going to mark him actually at the 24-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and 3. Regal again working shotgun. He's going to run right, looks for somewhere to go, and when he kind of came backwards, there were white jerseys all over him. They just stacked that play up, and that's going to be a loss back to the 26. So a loss of 2. Sometimes when you lose that momentum, it really can hurt you. You see it more on kickoffs than you do offensive plays, but if he keeps going forward right up on the backside of one of his blockers, maybe he pushes forward to the line of scrimmage, but instead it's a loss. Good defensive play for West Stanley. 3rd down and 5. Movement on the right side of the West Stanley line, the left side of the Tigers. Let's see what the call is. They're going to back the Tigers up. So the Tigers moved. That will push it back to the 31 and bring up 3rd down and 10. You got to believe this is 4-down territory if you get something positive on this play. So Regal again lines it up at quarterback. No backs. 2 slots and a wide out to the far side, and he's rolling to the far side. That's to the left. Throws downfield, and it's intercepted, I believe, at the 20, or did he drop it? If he dropped it, it'd be better field position for West Stanley, and they're going to say incomplete. That will be actually 4th down, so they won't get the change of possession. A good job for West Stanley on the defensive side of things has been McLemore there was pursuing Regal, never let him set his feet to throw it. 4th and 10 from the 31. Tigers have scored on the previous 2 possessions, lead it 13-0. 10:32 to play. They'll hand it off. A little double inside reversal get to Smith. Smith is going to be close to the 1st down, and it looks like he's got it. It looked like he was going to get it. He got contact, and he carries it to the 21-yard line, and that should be enough for a Tiger 1st down. Depends on where they've spotted it, and looks like they're waiting for the officials to send it forward, and it looks like they marked the ball right at the 21. They're looking at it. I don't know if we get a measurement or not on this one. Both teams are kind of wandering toward their sidelines. Friends over at Stanley News and Press let us know that Wheatmore 6, South Stanley nothing. That is midway through the 1st quarter. They are going to measure it. Hickory Ridge is on the scoreboard in the 2nd quarter up at Memorial Stadium. It's A.L. Brown 7, Hickory Ridge 7. I believe that's at Memorial Stadium, but anyway, that's 7-7 our score. And again, those scores coming to you on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. That's cannonpharmacies.com, home of free delivery. They'll bring the chains in from the far side of the field. Going to be real close. They had to get to the 21. And as they stretch it out, it is going to be 1st down, just by the tip of the football. The little white circle on the football is where the chain came to, and that gives you that tip of the football, and it's a 1st down for the Tigers. It shows you how big that potential interception was over on the sideline. If West Stanley had been able to make that grab but could not make it, gave Mount Pleasant that 4th down opportunity. Tigers started this drive at their own 37-yard line. 10 minutes, 7 seconds, ticking away in the 2nd quarter, 13-0. Regal takes the high snap, goes off the right side, and gets about 4 yards to the 17. Got knocked off balance. Looked like if he could have kept his balance, he had a lot more running room off the right side. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Tigers all looking to the sideline. They're moving from left to right here in the second quarter inside the Pizza Hut red zone. PizzaHut.com. You could order up food. They'll bring it right to you, or got that drive-through window as well. Going to hand the ball off to Dempsey. Dempsey into a crowd, and he's going to have a loss of another couple of yards back to the 19-yard line. Good job of West Stanley defense on their right side of the defensive line, just stacking things up. It's going to bring up third down, 8 to go. Going to go under 9 minutes left in the first half with this play. And Tigers sending 2 receivers, actually now 3 receivers. As Dempsey comes right, they've got a slot or a little wing back on the left side of the line. Regal will roll left, going to drop the ball off to Smith, and Smith couldn't hang on to it. Just a little quick pass as Aiden Smith was lined up in that slot back position, and they lined that up kind of halfway facing to the backfield, halfway facing the line of scrimmage, and you can go either direction, downfield or come back circling into the backfield. That time he went downfield but could not hang on to the pass. 4th down and 8 to go. Regal has trips left. Now bring one of those men in motion. They'll hand it off again on that reverse. Smith is hit, keeps driving, dives forward, and he's short of the first down. He's a yard short on 4th down. Aiden Smith, really, really good drive with his leg, but it's 4th down, and that will be change of possession as West Stanley will take over at their own 12-yard line. So West Stanley at their own 12-yard line for their first possession. They have started at their 8 to 32 and now at their 12-yard line. Snyder's gone all the way at quarterback. Has not thrown the ball. A lot of running so far for R.J. Keith. Keith's in the backfield. Got 2 receivers left, one to the right side. West Stanley and White, green breeches. They're moving from right to left as we look at it. They'll hand the ball off to Keith. Keith comes through a hole across the 20 to the 21. A 9-yard pickup, and he's just about had the first down of the day for West Stanley, but he's a yard short. 2nd down and 1 at the 21.
9-yard gain on play brings up a 2nd down and 1 from the 21.
So Keith again in the backfield. Quarterback hands the ball off to Keith. Keith's got enough for the first down across the 25 to the 30. Nearly had the football taken away. Flag on the play. That flag came in late. That's the first down with 7:42 left in the second quarter. A sideline warning on Mount Pleasant. So again, West Stanley with the football at the 30-yard line, 1st down and 10. 2 receivers left. They'll bring a wing to the right side and hand the ball off to Keith. Keith hammers straight ahead to about the 33, 34. Depends on where they're going to mark forward progress. He's finally goes down and going to say 35-yard line, so 5-yard pickup. Just a big rugby scrum on that one. And now we've got whistle and timeout taken. I'm not sure. So Mount Pleasant takes a timeout with 9:26. So the Tigers' first timeout. West Stanley's already taken one. That was the first 30 seconds of the game. Coach Crosby is having a word with the referee. Very demonstrative with his right hand. He's just shaking his right hand as he talks to the referee. Don't forget, we got the BenMinded.com halftime report coming up for you. We'll look at that Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. So far, it's been all Mount Pleasant as the Tigers scored on their first two drives. Got a score coming in. Again, this from our friends at Stanley News and Press, Charles Curio. It's Southwest Randolph 7, Albemarle 6. That's 4:12 left in the first quarter. We're back to live action here. West Stanley with the ball. Hand off to Keith. Keith is stacked up and taken down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Bring up 3rd down and 5.
Running the play brought down by Kendrick Flynn at number 78, Jacob McCoy. After that play, it's
Scotland County up on Hope County 10-0.
Defense, Tiger fans.
Down east, Havelock 7, New Bern 0. They're tolling the bell here at Mount Pleasant. 6:45 to play in the first half. 3rd down and 5 for West Stanley at their own 35. They bring a man in motion. A flag flies. They're still playing. I'm not sure. I thought they blew a whistle. They're going to throw a pass. It's going to be caught. He's going to go. They're going to mark the ball out of bounds at the 48. I think everybody thought that was a false start, illegal shift. So it will be against West Stanley, a 5-yard mark off from the 35. Takes it back to the 30. We'll replay 3rd down. I think everybody thought it was illegal procedure. I think the illegal shift, they allow you to continue to play. But they mark it to the 30. Well, they're going to start at the 35 and mark it to the 30. Concord is just wailing away on Easter Owan, 28-0. Mount Pleasant, 28-0. Concord leading Easter Owan. 30-yard line, 3rd down and 10 for West Stanley. It's 13-0 Mount Pleasant. 6:18 left first half. They'll bring 3 receivers to the left side. 1 receiver over on the right. That's the far side of the field for West Stanley. Back to throw, fires, downfield, it's going to be caught. The defender slipped. He's to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, and finally taken down. That was Maverick Scott with the throw, connecting with Gavin Eford. So Eford with a big reception, and that's all the way down to the 28-yard line. A big conversion. Clock starts now once the chains are set. I'm not sure that Mount Pleasant really respected the pass game that much, and he just reared back and threw it downfield. Again, Maverick Scott, the quarterback for West Stanley. 1 man in the backfield, a bunch set right. They'll break the bunch, bring it back toward the line of scrimmage. Going to toss it to the back who drops it, and it looks like he fell on it. That time was, I believe that may have been Hudson Snyder playing out in the slot that time. We saw Snyder at quarterback, so I wonder if there's some trickeration going on there and just dropped the ball. The loss is back to the 33. 2nd down and long. The line to gain is the 18. Trips left. Scott to throw, looking, firing in the middle, drops it off short. It's going to be caught and taken down at about the 25-yard line. The reception made by Ben McLemore. McLemore, the tight end.
Pass is complete to number 2, Beesmore. Brought down by number 7. Michael Estevez, also number 78 in on the play.
think we may be pronouncing number 2's name wrong. The PA calling him Meesamore. Mecimore. We'll go with Meesamore.
Defense, Tiger fans, it's
Third down and 8 at the 26. Scott the throw, looking, scrambling, rolling out to his left, fires downfield, incomplete, just off the receiver's hands. Going to have to move around. The windows here in the press box have fogged up on the outside, so we're going to have to find a hole where we can see. I think if I squat down, I can look underneath the fog. That's not a problem we normally have. It's hot outside, nice and cool with a new air conditioner here in the press box. It's 4th down and 8 at the 26-yard line. The best scoring opportunity for West Stanley of the day. They trail 13-0. And now whistles sound before the play gets underway. And a timeout taken. So timeout on the field. Big play coming up. West Stanley has a chance to kind of climb back in this thing with a score. Mount Pleasant uses their second timeout. So the Tigers' second timeout comes with 4:11 left in the second quarter. 2 timeouts still for West Stanley. Here we go, the big play coming up. 4:11 to play, second quarter, 13-0 Mount Pleasant. West Stanley with 4th down and 8 from the 26. Again, Maverick Scott, the quarterback. He's got Keith at his right side, movement up front. Let's see who this flag is on. Mount Pleasant was in the neutral zone, but it's going to be false start against the Colts. So it brings up 4th and 13. Mooresville scored again. It's Mooresville 28, Cox Mill nothing. 3:52 left in the second quarter. Trips left. Scott to throw, looking. Got time, now pressure comes, and he's going to throw, incomplete. Flag on the play. There was a Tiger there who tipped the ball away. The question is, did he make contact before the ball got there? Let's see if it's a pass interference or is it a holding. It's against Mount Pleasant. So it's a 15-yard mark-off. And let's see if it's enough for the first down. Well, they're going to say first down, so. The 15-yard mark-off goes to the 16-yard line. That's definitely enough for the first down. So a big play in the passing game, 2 big plays in the passing game on this drive for West Stanley. Trips left. Scott going to hand it off to Keith. Keith goes into the pile for a yard. They'll mark him down at the 15. Second down and 9. Well, every time we look up at the scoreboard, we see another score going on the board for Mooresville. Mooresville 35, Cox Mill nothing. It's gone to halftime between Hickory Ridge and A.L. Brown, 7-7. Split Eford to the right side, got Trips to the left. Scott in the shotgun with Keith. Fakes it to Keith. He's going to be taken down in the backfield. The Tigers were not fooled with a fake, and Scott be tackled for a loss back to the 18. Clock ticking. We're going to go into 3 minutes left in the first half. Flynn with the first man to make contact. We've called Kinzer Flynn's name several times so far today. 3rd and 12 from the 18-yard line. Scott will have 3 receivers in a bunch, short side right. He's going to look to throw that side. He's got a man coming across the middle of the field. He's short of the first down, but he gets to the 7 or 8 yard line, so he's going to be a couple yards short. They mark him at the 9, so 4th down and 3 from the 9. Clock again continuing to run, 2:09, 2:08. Wholesale substitutions coming in for West Stanley. Now, it looks like they are going to kick, so Misa Moore to hold. It would be a 26-yard field goal off the right hash mark. It's going to be a right to left angle. Snap, spot, the kick is up. The kick is no good. Just missed it to the right. Just missed it to the right. West Stanley misses a field goal. That's a tough one. 1:28 left in the first half, and Mount Pleasant will take over. A missed 26-yard field goal. It's good to have confidence in your kicker. And, of course, I hate to second guess, but here I will. I would have gone for try to get the 3 yards, try to punch it in. 13-0 now. The Tigers will have the ball at the 20-yard line. West Stanley gets the ball to start the second half. Mount Pleasant with 1 timeout left. We'll hand the ball off for a short gain. It's Dempsey. Dempsey gets about 3. Dempsey was upset when he got up. Not sure what the issue was. It may have been somebody didn't head the right direction on the block. 2nd down, 7. They'll give it to Dempsey again. Dempsey into the secondary, to the 40, to the 45-yard line. Finally taken down by number 55 for West Stanley. That's Big Jackson Griffin, but Tigers are going to go hurry up. 44 seconds. Shotgun. Regal. Now whistle sound, and we're going to have a timeout called. I believe that's a West Stanley timeout. So West Stanley trying to get their defense set. 40 seconds left in the half. And the West Stanley timeout. Mount Pleasant was ready to go, and the defense didn't appear to be ready. Don't forget, we got the BenMinot.com halftime report coming up. Shop, click, and drive. BenMinot.com. So Mount Pleasant with the ball at their own 45-yard line. They started the drive at the 20.
Will be November the 9th of this year at Irish Creek, the old Kannapolis Country Club from 6 until 11. Contact Cheryl White.
Lots of college football coming up this weekend. Appalachian State last night played up in Boone and took it on the chin from South Alabama. Here's Regal right in the middle of the line. Got a block. He's to the 40. Oh, and he flips over at the 36, 37-yard line. They'll run it up quick. 32 seconds. Clock's is running. They didn't stop it to set the chains. They'll spike it, and that'll kill the clock with 26 seconds left. Regal, when he lost his balance, just did a flip. Couldn't land on his feet, and when he landed on his shoulder, that put him down at the 38-yard line. Had a lead blocker, and he was just right on the backside of that blocker when he burst out into the open. 26 seconds left in the half. By my count, Tigers have 1 timeout. I think West Stanley also has 1 timeout. 2 receivers left, 1 right. High snap. Regal gets it. Pressure coming. Throwing toward Dempsey. It's going to be intercepted. Dempsey trying to steal the ball away, and it's loose. Who's got it? Who's got it? It's loose at the 19-yard line.
Pass intended for number 25, Ethan Dempsey, was intercepted.
So the interception changes possessions, the fumble,
Ensuing fumble on the play.
and it's going to be recovered, looks like, by West Stanley. So West Stanley, again, able to get the ball back.
West Stanley,
So West Stanley will have
18 seconds remaining.
18 seconds left here in the
West Stanley will have the ball.
quarter.
10 at their own.
They get the opening kickoff, so I don't expect you'll see anything really dangerous here at their own 20-yard line. It looked like Mount Pleasant was just going to run West Stanley off the field, and things kind of slowed down a little bit after those 2 quick touchdowns. Movement up front. Clock is running, and I think they just decided to take a knee, and that will be the end of the half. So at the half, Mount Pleasant 13-0 over West Stanley.
As the band gets ready to take the field, ladies and gentlemen, get a good time.
The band is headed out to the field. We'll listen in here. We may take a break here just in a moment, too, when we get a chance. The college basketball season's coming up soon. Got notification yesterday that the Charlotte Tip-Off will be at their recreational outdoor court on October the 17th. Lots of festivities and chances to meet the players. They've got season tickets now on sale for both men's and women's basketball for the Charlotte 49ers. And the band's getting ready to take the field. It's the BenMinute.com halftime report. Shop, click, and drive, BenMinute.com. So we got halftime score of 13-0. While we take a break, and we'll be back with more activities here at halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Mount Pleasant and Central Cabarrus Marching Band. Drum Major Grace Wilson, is your band ready? Mount Pleasant and Central Cabarrus Band, you may take the field for exhibition.
Yeah, what they did, they got those spikes of flash. Yeah. And those new lights. Every time they, all of our kids just go, yeah, every time they do flash those lights, all of our cameras will just go down 2 or 3 seconds. And then they come back and have to try to get refund for the student.
I have been to Richmond County for football Friday. I guess Forest Hill, I don't know the place I feel.
Worst place ever was North Sur. I went to North Sur, Mount Pleasant, they put us in this water zone. It looked like an outbuilding they posted on the wall. And they had it was slabs that tacked up. You had to rock the out. And there's an opening just where the door would be. A table. There's no lights or electricity. I got in there and set my foot down. There was men on the ground all over the top of the table. I had to leave the old thing out for me. They usually put us on the roof a lot of times. That's what we're sort of that's right. Easy on the roof. Like on the roof itself, looking up into the sides. Yeah.
That's a nightmare getting in there.
I haven't done it especially for a John's done it. I haven't done it for a Salisbury, yes, of the
on the 2024 Mount Pleasant and Central Cabarrus High School Marching Band.
Westboro Eagles do that too. There's one section.
Once again, Mountain High School Athletic Department and Athletic Booster Club will mention we thank our 2024-2025 sponsors. New sponsor this week, just starting with us is Collins and Old Toyota. Also, North Carolina Toothbrush, Harrisburg Kids District, Jim Becky and Jamie Associates, John Woodcock, Artisan Ice Sculptures, Mount Pleasant Methodist.
Well, the Mount Pleasant Central Cabarrus Marching Band entertained here at halftime. Our halftime score is 13-0 Mount Pleasant against West Stanley. You're listening to the BenMinot.com halftime report. Shop, click, and drive, BenMinot.com. Mount Pleasant got off to a quick start here today in their opening possession, drove down and scored. It was a 63-yard drive, capped off by a 10-yard run from Aiden Smith. Sellers with the kick, and that made it 7-0 with 9:04 left in the first quarter. Next score on the next Mount Pleasant possession, a 39-yard pass play. That was Regal to Dempsey. That capped off, again, a short drive, a 52-yard drive, 13-0. Mount Pleasant has driven down twice into West Stanley territory and come away with no points. A similar situation for West Stanley. They missed a field goal late in the first half. That field goal attempt of 26 yards just missed. I believe it was wide to the right, and there's where we stand here at halftime. Again, we're waiting for the teams to get back out on the field. Let's take a look at our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. At halftime over at Concord, the score is 28-0 Concord over East Rowan. Other scores from around the area. Last time we had a score coming in between Mooresville and Cox Mill. It was 35-0 in favor of Mooresville, as Mooresville just pounding away on the Chargers today. Again, college soccer score coming in. Florida Atlantic 2, Charlotte 1. That's women's soccer in the American Athletic Conference. That's a conference opener for Charlotte over at Transamerica Field, I believe is where they played that one today. And we're looking to see if any more scores have come in. We had a number of scores earlier tonight. Volleyball last night, we saw Hickory Ridge beat A.L. Brown 3-0. But again, scores, they come in clusters when we check it out on X and other places. We'll try to see if we can get some more. West Stanley's going to get the ball to start the second half. They had turned Mount Pleasant away after the interception as the Tigers were coming down the field furiously. The interception, then it was knocked away. Here's the score as they've started the third quarter. A.L. Brown 14, Hickory Ridge 14. That's a game. And the 4A ranks. Again, here we've got a 13-0 game in favor of Mount Pleasant. Very quick first half when you consider that this game started at 7:30. Most of the games around the area started at 7 o'clock, and Mount Pleasant and West Stanley starting to catch up to some of the other games across the area. College football tomorrow, we've got the Indiana Hoosiers hosting the Charlotte 49ers. 49ers got on the win column a week ago in just a wild comeback in the fourth quarter, led by their third-string quarterback, Trexler Ivy. 3 touchdown passes, actually 2 touchdown passes, I believe, in the fourth quarter, 11 of 12 passing. We were at that game, and it looked pretty grim at 17-point deficit twice in that game for Charlotte. Charlotte finally came back and beat Gardner-Webb. The Indiana Hoosiers is the opponent for Charlotte coming up tomorrow. Big game of the ACC tomorrow is NC State and Clemson. NC State starting a freshman quarterback. And after Grayson McCall down with an undisclosed injury. He left the game a week ago as the Wolfpack was struggling. They came back and won the game. But again, a freshman quarterback going to start in Death Valley for NC State. They used to call that the Textile Bowl. I don't know if they're still calling that or not. But that's what, in the old days, it was the Textile Bowl between Clemson and NC State, two big engineering schools. Teams are back out on the field. Got about 2 minutes on the clock before we get ready to go. Again, sponsors for today's game, of course, this is the BenMinot.com halftime report. Carolina Renaissance Festival starts October the 5th. We've got the Southern Christmas Show. We'll be in mid-November. Get some dates for you on that one on the Southern Christmas Show. Also brought to you by Cannon Pharmacy, home of free delivery, by the Independent Tribune, independenttribune.com, by Wilkinson Funeral Home. And again, the sponsors for tonight's football game, Wilkinson Funeral Home, Carolina Pizza Hut. Tigers are on their sideline now. West Stanley still getting a couple of warm-up exercises and drills in, and we'll be ready to go back to action. Tigers scored pretty quickly on their first two drives, and West Stanley did not have a lot of offense going, and then they were able to kind of get things settled in and get it going much more to their liking, particularly in the second quarter. Coach Crosby for Mount Pleasant, though, I'm sure is going to be concerned that they did not get the last couple of scores when they got deep down in West Stanley territory, and we could have put this game away pretty early. Now they're going to have to go on defense, kick it off to West Stanley. Coach Ralph Jackson's team battling back hard after a slow start. They're 0-4 on the season. They've had close games. Last time out was just a barn burner of a game with North Stanley. They come away with a loss in double overtime, 38-37. Mount Pleasant had a heartbreaker last time here at Mike John Stadium with a 16-14 loss to Northwest Cabarrus. You got to feel like Northwest Cabarrus is a pretty good football team too, so no shame in the loss, but the Tigers felt like they let one get away. 3-1 for Mount Pleasant, 0-4 for West Stanley. Again, headed into this matchup. Teams are getting ready for the second half. We're just about ready as well. 13-0, Mount Pleasant. Tigers in blue, moving left to right here in the second half. Going to be kicking the ball off. Kickoff to be made by Braden Sellers, senior kicker and defensive back. We'll see who West Stanley sends deep to receive this one. They had a cluster of backs down there earlier. Looks like Keith is going to be one of the guys. R.J. Keith, one of their running backs. Also, Hudson Snyder. Here's Sellers' kick. It's a driving kick. It's going to come to Keith, who drops it, picks it up at the 9, 10, 15. He's going to be taken down as the Tigers with a nice solo tackle. And that is Jackson Burris. So Burris called number 22's name a couple times already tonight. South Stanley's taking charge at halftime against Wheatmore. South Stanley 18, Wheatmore 6. So poor field position starting for West Stanley here in the second half. Fourth possession, they start at the 12-yard line. That's their second. They've got 4 possessions, not counting the last possession of the half, which started at the 20, but that was just kind of a throwaway possession. They're going to hand the ball off on the jet. Hit hard at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him a yard, maybe 2 to the 13 or 14. Tigers coming up and greeting them rudely. technically this is the 5th possession.
Chase Thomas also under the tackle number 25, Ethan Dempsey, breaks up a
that
second down.
West Stanley started at their 8, their 32, their 12, their 20. Their 20 was that last possession of the half, and then their 12-yard line here. Mount Pleasant, by contrast, has started well out in the field. And got a movement as the right tackle jumped. That will push them back 5, back inside the 10-yard line.
Against the Colts, that'll be a 5-yard penalty. After that, it will be 2nd and 14
Second down at 14.
from the 8.
They'll go all the way back to the 8-yard line with a 5-yard mark off. Just underway, second half. 11-11, clock ticking away, third quarter. They'll line it up. Shotgun. Tigers coming on a blitz. Scott throws, got a man one-on-one. Cabarrus knocked away at the last second. Burris again. Jackson Burris got that left arm in and just swatted it away just as the ball came down at about the 35-yard line or so. That could have been a big, big play. We saw a pass interference on a similar long play earlier, but that time timed it perfectly, got the left arm in and just knocked it loose. Third down now and 13. Maybe even 14, back at the 8-yard line. Tigers were coming on a blitz. They picked it up, had one-on-one coverage on the outside, but Burris did a good job. Here's a throw to the sideline and spiked away. Another good defensive play for the Mount Pleasant defender. Cameron Shatari just high-pointed that ball and spiked it. Shatari had one-on-one coverage. I don't know that the receiver ever saw the ball coming either. He didn't seem to jump for it. 10:46 left, third quarter. Punt formation for West Stanley. They'll be punting inside the box for the soccer markings. That's about 6 yards deep in the end zone. Left-footed kick goes straight to the sideline. Hits at the 16 and goes out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it.
West Stanley goes out of bounds.
They're coming up the sideline, and it looks like 15-yard line. A 7-yard punt. The Mount Pleasant possession is going to be at the 15-yard line. So Mount Pleasant getting great field position at the West Stanley 15. They'll send trips left side. Regal's gone all the way at quarterback. Got Aiden Smith as the wingback slot right side. Regal's just going to keep it. Goes off the right side, twisting and turning and powering his way forward inside the 10. A lot of drive off that right side, and Regal got what he could and then just kept pushing and pushing, and they marked the ball at the 10, so it'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Tigers. Just underway second half. We're approaching the 10 minutes and 10-second mark. Tigers have split backs out of the shotgun. Dempsey and Smith. Regal and the shotgun right between those two. Two receivers left side. They'll hand the ball off to Dempsey. Dempsey got a block from Smith. Got another block from the right tackle, but they stack it up pretty well. It's a gain of 2 yards to the 8. Actually, they'll give him 3 to the 7. So 3rd and 2 from the 7-yard line. Salisbury 22, Thomasville nothing. That is from your Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. We're in the Pizza Hut red zone right now, and 3rd down and 2 from Mount Pleasant. Got a receiver split out to the left. They're going to go with that power formation, 3 fullbacks, and the quarterback is Dempsey in the shotgun. They snap it to him. He runs behind the 3 fullbacks. He does not get the first down. They crash from the inside or from the outside. I think big number 55 may have made first contact, Jackson Griffin, and that will bring up 4th down. So 4th down and a yard. They're going to go again with the power formation. 3 fullbacks off the right side this time. Dempsey takes it. They'll go right. He's got the first down, plowing his way to the 4. Didn't get a lot. Got 2, but only needed 1. First and goal, Tigers. 8:35 to play, third quarter. Mount Pleasant threatening, trying to put it at a 3-score game. Again, they'll line it up power. 1 receiver right side. Got 3 fullbacks and then shotgun quarterback of Dempsey. Dempsey goes right side behind those big backs and the big offensive line. Standing up in the end zone, touchdown. Ethan Dempsey, a 4-yard run here in the third quarter with 8:12 to play. And the Tigers extend their lead to 19-0. So Mount Pleasant here in the third quarter. 15-yard drive. Dempsey goes the final 4. Sellers to attempt the extra point. Snap, spot, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So Sellers with the kick, and that makes it 20-0 in favor of Mount Pleasant here in the third quarter. More scores coming in on your Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. Rocky River 15, East Mecklenburg 6. North Rowan all over South Davidson, 35-0 there, North Rowan. Ashbrook 12, Crest 7. No score between West Iredell and St. Stephen's. Hickory 15, East Rowan 7. That's your last 2 3A state champions playing there. Joe Glass, the former coach over at J.M. Robinson, is the coach up in Hickory, and they won the title last year. Again, 15-7 so far there. Hickory over East Rowan. Fred T. Ford 10, North Iredell 8, North Lincoln 25, Statesville 6. Again, Hickory, East Lincoln, North Lincoln, and Statesville all undefeated coming into tonight's action. Those 2 teams all playing over the same conferences. So Mount Pleasant to kick it off to West Stanley. 8:12 to play third quarter. 20-0. The Tigers with the lead. Onside kick. It's going to be recovered for West Stanley.
Recovered at the 40-yard line by West Stanley. They will take over first and 10. Again, 8 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the third.
I can see what they were looking at. Everybody turned to go downfield, and the one man was able to chase it down. He had his back turned to retreat, but it's going to be great field position. First good field position of the day for West Stanley, as West Stanley's going to start their 6th possession of the game at their own 40-yard line. Handoff for a short gain to Keith. Maverick Scott, the quarterback, goes over and gets the play from the sideline. Pickup of 2 to the 42. Maddox Barrier with a tackle for Mount Pleasant. 7:48, clock ticking, third quarter, 20-0 Mount Pleasant. West Stanley, though, with their best field position of the game. They have driven into Tiger territory a couple of times, missed a field goal, turned it over on downs once. Looking to throw, fires, nearly intercepted. That ball may have been tipped short. Burris came up to play that ball and trying to scoop it up, and it was on the turf before he could get to it. So Burris, 3rd and 8 at the 42. 7:30 to play third quarter as the clock stops with the incomplete pass. Scott got Keith in the backfield at his left side. Trips left side, one receiver to the right. Now they'll bring one of the trips in motion, come out the other side. Hand the ball off to Keith. Keith running laterally, makes one man miss, crosses the 44, and that's all. A pickup of 2. He got the corner turn, but that was all. He got 2 yards. The Tigers strung it out a little bit until help could arrive. So clock ticking, going to go under 7 minutes with this play. The Colts going to punt it away. Going to be Jonathan Moran. Moran with Ethan Dempsey deep to receive it. We saw just a horrendous punt from the end zone a moment ago. A little bit more room to work with here from the 44. Good snap. Blocked. Tigers rush. They blocked it. It's loose. The Tigers will fall on it at about the 25-yard line. 2 players were there. The recovery was made by Michael Estevez. So Estevez looks like he's going to get the blocked punt. Tigers take it over at their own 26-yard line. So great field position again as the Tigers start this possession. They started the last possession at the 15. This one will be at the 26 of West Stanley. Playing with a short field and a high-powered offense. Mount Pleasant didn't need any help, and they're getting a little bit, and the defense has played pretty stout today. 6:39 to play, third quarter. Bring a man in motion. They're going to hand it to him. Rolling out to the right, spins down to the 21. It's Ethan Dempsey. Dempsey, they're going to actually mark the ball, the original starting line of scrimmage at the 25. So Dempsey gets 4 on the play, 2nd down and 6. 2 receivers split left. They have 2 in the backfield with Regal this time. They're at either side. Going to give it to Smith. Smith off the right side. Not a lot there as he gets to the 20 for 1 yard gain and be thrown back. So Aiden Smith with 1 yard, and that will bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Tigers. Got to figure, again, 2 down territory here unless you want to try your field goal unit. 20-0. Tigers with the lead and the ball. 3rd down and 5 at the West Stanley 20. Empty backfield. Regal takes the snap, gets 2 to the 18, and that will bring up 4th down and 3. 4th and 3. Tigers offense staying on the field. 4th down and 3. Split a couple of receivers, actually 3 receivers to the left side. Got a wing back right. He comes in motion. That's Smith. Smith looking for a cutback lane. There's none there. Good defense for West Stanley, and they're going to get the ball back on turnover on downs. Smith could not get turned upfield, and West Stanley will take over, looks like, at the 18-yard line. They've had 7 possessions. Actually, they're marking the ball at the 20. So that was a bigger loss than we thought, all the way back to the 20. So 1st and 10 at the 20 for West Stanley. Under 5 minutes to play. West Stanley in white, moving from right to left as we look at the action. They'll bring a man in motion from right to left. Snyder. Snyder will arc back into the backfield. They're going to hand it off to him. He was playing quarterback earlier. He's throwing a pass. Tipped and intercepted by Estevez. Did he hang on? Yes, he did. Michael Estevez blocked a punt a moment ago and now intercepts a pass. Razzle-dazzle there. They sent the receiver in motion. That was... Actually, that was, I think I said it was Snyder throwing it. That may have been Misha Moore that threw the ball. The tight end rather than Snyder 8. But he heaved it downfield short, and number 7 got one hand up and then brought it in. Tigers start at the 47-yard line. Opposite play. There comes Regal. Regal's in the secondary. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Regal takes it 47-yard touchdown run for Regal. He just pulled it out of the belly of the back and went 47 yards. Just like that, the Tigers score on a big play, a 47-yard drive. Sellers to kick the extra point, 26-0. Here, Mount Pleasant in the third quarter. 4:36 left. Snap, spot, the kick is up, and Sellers' kick is good. 27-0 Mount Pleasant as the Tigers extend their lead. They'll be kicking it off here in a moment. Well, the Tigers just ran that looked like a little read option, or it may have been a quarterback straight call, but he pulled it out of the back of the belly, and nobody was at home. Once he broke the line of scrimmage, it was just a sprint to the goal line. And Regal had his hand in the air as he crossed the goal line. The junior, normally running back, defensive back. We have not seen Colin Black today at quarterback, but Regal on the sideline with his offensive teammates getting a drink of water after a 47-yard sprint for a score. Braden Sellers to kick it off now. 4:36 left. Crest has taken the lead over Ashbrook, 15-12. Close game over there and west of Charlotte. Ashbrook from Gaston County, Crest from Cleveland County. Sellers to kick it off. Low driving kick fielded at the 25 by one of the upbacks, 35, and he'll be snowed under at the 37-yard line. So, again, West Stanley with a little better field position this time as they'll take the ball at the 37-yard line. First down. That Maverick Scott, the quarterback, is going to have two backs in the backfield with him this time. Two receivers left, one right. First down and 10 from the 37. Tigers move up front, and that will be a 5-yard mark off against Mount Pleasant, it looks like. First and 5 at the 42. Oh, check it. There's going to be first and 15. They call it a – now they're marking off procedure, but it's actually offside, and now they get it right. Out to the 42-yard line, first down and 5. 4:29 to play, third quarter. Hand the ball off to Keith. Keith bounced out of one tackle and comes back into the arms of two other Tigers. No gain on the play. Second down and 5. Ball again at the 42-yard line. Second down and 5. Under 4 minutes to play, third quarter. Scott with split backs in the shotgun. He's going to hand it to the second man through. He'll get to the line of scrimmage. No further. The Tigers look like first man to make contact was Justin Scott. No, check it, 63 rather than 62, Roy Behringer. So third down and 5 after 2, no gains on offense for West Stanley. 27-0. Mount Pleasant with the lead. Back to throw. Scott fires downfield, overthrown. Burris and Estevez had coverage, but ball was overthrown. And now we'll stop the clock with 3:14 left, third quarter. Fourth down and 4 at the 42. Jonathan Moran will go back to punt. He had his last punt blocked. The previous punt was very short out of bounds. Tigers look like they're playing punt safe, though, with a 4th and 5. They do snap it short. Scott throws, tipped and incomplete. Tigers will take over at the 42. I don't think anybody was surprised by that. The Tigers looked like they were in punt safe, and they were just waiting on the ball. They tipped it at the line of scrimmage. So Mount Pleasant will start their 3rd straight possession on the West Stanley side of the 50. 42-yard line this time at West Stanley. Last time they got it at the 47. Actually, it's 4 straight times on their side of the 50. They fake it, throw it, man, it's open. It was a little bit low, but it's going to be caught for a touchdown. Running it in, the tight end, number 24, Justin Kyle, a 42-yard touchdown pass. Regal, play fake, just puts it to Kyle, and Kyle takes it to the house. 42-yard pass play, making it 33-0. 3:02 to play here in the 3rd quarter for Mount Pleasant. Tigers will attempt the extra point for Sellers. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is good. So Sellers with the kick. 34-0, Mount Pleasant has extended the lead. So the Tigers just pounding away. They've had great field position. They've converted the last couple after not converting out of 2 or 3 possessions in a row where they had great field position. And Mount Pleasant now leading 34-0 with 3:02 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Going to be kicking it off. And again, Sellers to kick it off. Had some interesting kickoffs, some short ones. There was an onside kick attempt. Keith, one of the men deep. They put a different back there now. I'm not sure who was the near side receiver. And that's a short kick, just kicked it kind of into a dead spot. Big bounce, one of the up backs grabs it, 30, 35, and he'll be taken down there. Looked like that one was received by, well, I don't know if that was 30, 31 or 51. But I don't have either of those numbers on my roster. I must have the wrong number. One of the upbacks for West Stanley grabbing that ball and coming out to the 35-yard line. Tigers ringing the victory bell down below. Still got some football to play, but they well in hand. Looks like 34-0 and a gain of 7 on the play for R.J. Keith. Well, Keith's a hard back to bring down. Brings a load. They're going to mark it at the 41. Second down and 6. And again, they'll hand it off to the back. Piled up at the line of scrimmage and then thrown back by the Tiger defensive front. Keith just pounding a ball up inside and not able to move the ball that time. It's going to bring up 3rd down. 41-yard line. The line to gain is the 45. Got another score coming in between A.L. Brown and Hickory Ridge. We'll tell you about that after this play. That's a midway through the 3rd quarter score coming from Kannapolis. Juggling the ball. Is it loose? It is on the ground. Keith had trouble with it. And Mount Pleasant comes out of there with it. Number 9. That is Lane Honeycutt. Honeycutt grabs the ball. Keith had trouble with it. He was juggling the ball. He looked like he was about to regain possession of it and then got hit. It got knocked loose, and Honeycutt pounces on it at the 37. Mount Pleasant, now by my count, 5 straight possessions starting on the West Stanley side of the 50, this time at the 37-yard line. 34-0. They'll send Smith in motion, hand it to him, looking to cut it upfield, gets 3, maybe 4 yards to the 33. So Aiden Smith with the carry. We promised you that Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard score. A.L. Brown 17, Hickory Ridge 14 in the third quarter. Roja with the field goal attempt from 41 yards, and it was good for A.L. Brown. So that one a tight ball game between the Wonders and the Raging Bulls. They pull it out of Dempsey's belly. Here comes Regal. Regal makes one-man miss, cuts back, 20. He's stiff arm, 10, 5, touchdown. I don't know how Regal did it, but somehow he stays on his feet. He juked one man out, did a stiff arm, and scores again. 33-yard run for Regal. He's got a 42-yard pass play to Kyle a couple of moments ago. And a couple minutes before that, he had a 47-yard run, and Regal is having himself a second half with 32 seconds left in the third quarter. They're going to go for 2. They'll hand it off, and Dempsey with the run. Ethan Dempsey with the run, so the 2-point conversion makes it 42-0. Mount Pleasant with the lead, and I believe that will. Is that a running clock with 42-0? They haven't started the clock yet, but it's 32 seconds left in the quarter. Tigers got on the board with 2 quick touchdowns in the first quarter, were scoreless in the second, but the third quarter they have exploded with a 4-yard run for Dempsey, a 47-yard run from Regal, a Regal 42-yard pass play to Kyle, and then Regal there with a 33-yard run, and Dempsey with the 2-point conversion. All those second half scores were kicks by Sellers, except the Dempsey 2-point run. 42-0. Tigers with the lead. Hot dogs and hamburgers on sale now at the concession stand if you happen to be in the stands listening in. Concord 38, East Rowan nothing. That was at the end of the third quarter. Tigers kick it off, high, deep end over end kick that's fielded at the 14, 20, and taken down across the 27-yard line. Mason Jackson with the return. Gets it out to about the 26-yard line. That's where West Stanley will start possession. So Mount Pleasant has started their last 5 possessions on the West Stanley side of the 50. 10 possessions in the game for West Stanley. They have not started across the 50 on any of them. That will be the end of the third quarter. We're going to the fourth quarter. Our score is Mount Pleasant 42, West Stanley nothing. This is Radio Free Cabarrus, 485 Sports. I'm Mark Plemmons, bringing you the game tonight. And again, it is just a big third quarter for for Mount Pleasant. We'll check in on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. We expect this fourth quarter to go really quick as the Tigers got to that running clock situation. On the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, Concord 38-0 at the end of the third quarter over East Rowan. And Mount Pleasant, again here, has pushed it out to 42-0 going to the fourth. And we'll see when the clock starts. That action ready to go here as we start the fourth quarter. Clock rolling. West Stanley first down. They'll hand the ball off to Keith. Keith running off the right side, stacked up as he gets to the 30. Tigers will throw him back, and the clock continues to run. Tigers have played well on defense today. They had a couple of pass plays that West Stanley were able to complete successfully and got a pass interference that gave a first down, but a missed field goal, really the only scoring opportunity for West Stanley. Man in motion. They'll hand the ball off, sidesteps one tackler, crosses the 35 to the 36. He's going to be close to the first down, but looks like he's a yard short at the 36. Tigers running in some substitutions quickly. 3rd down and 1. 10:40, clock ticking. 3rd and 1. West Stanley quarterback Scott has to go over to the sideline to get a little bit of information on his play. Now he's got it. 10-12, clock ticking. Got another score coming in. We'll let you know about that. They run it hard straight up the gut, get the first down across the 40. So West Stanley keeps possession with the first down. Mike London, the Salisbury Post, sends us this way. We're going to the fourth quarter over at Northwest Cabarrus. It's Northwest 38, South Rowan nothing. Again, Northwest 38, South Rowan nothing. That's on your Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. Actually, they scored again right after that, 45-0. Now Northwest Cabarrus with the lead. Final score between Mooresville and Cox Mill. Mooresville 55, Cox Mill nothing. Bunch set, far right. They'll break one out of the bunch in motion. Scott's going to pitch the ball out. Going to be taken by Snyder. Snyder's knocked down for a loss. Lane Honeycutt with the tackle for Mount Pleasant. Mooresville now with back-to-back shutouts in the Greater Metro 4A Conference. Clock continuing to run with that 42-point advantage for Mount Pleasant. Man in motion again. They'll hand the ball off to Snyder. Snyder crosses the 40 to the 42. Langston Wirtz of the Charlotte Observer reporting that an incident at the West Charlotte Mallard Creek game tonight, and the game will be played without fans in the stands from the third quarter on. Again, that's coming in from the Charlotte Observer. West Charlotte and Mallard Creek, they playing before empty stands now after an incident in the third quarter. Handoff now to Snyder. Snyder picks his way along. He's got good running room, 50 to the 46-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle, though that time by Mount Pleasant, was number 20. That's Devin Troutman. Devin Troutman saved a lot of new faces on the Tigers defense. Hudson Snyder really showed some quickness there. He's just kind of picking his way along, and all of a sudden accelerated up the field, and he might have been gone were it not for Troutman's tackle. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line of Mount Pleasant. 7:30 to play in the football game. Again, a handoff to Snyder. Snyder trying to get away and can't. And Tigers, big number 63, stacks that one up. So Roy Berenger and Dawn Griffin in on the play. Lost to the 50. 2nd down, 14 to go. Under 7 minutes to play before this one is snapped. Appreciate you joining us here tonight in Mount Pleasant. There's a Man in motion. They hand it off to Snyder. Lost the football. Tigers pick it up, and it's going to be recovered in the secondary. We'll see where they spot it, but Snyder fighting for extra yardage. Jackson Burris has had a heck of a game on defense. Comes up with the fumble recovery. So the Tigers, for the first time in the second half, will start their possession on their own half of the 50 at the 35-yard line.
6 minutes, 34 seconds remaining.
6:32, clock ticking. This time on the Mount Pleasant side of the field. This is foreign territory for the Tigers here in the second half. Again, more substitutions out for the Tigers here in the second half. We'll check some of those names for you in a moment. Going to hand the ball off straight ahead. Not much there. Big tackle for West Stanley by Mason Hill, one of the defensive tackles. Run on the play was J.T. Green. Green loses one. Be second down at 11. Again, clock running. 5:52. Tigers running their offense here, taking plenty of time, making sure they got the right play. Regal had gone all the way at quarterback until this possession and had a heck of a football game back there, with particularly in the third quarter. They're going to hand the ball off to the wing back. He'll get out to the 40-yard line. Good hard run coming off the wing, number 33. For the Tigers, that is Logan Davis Hilton. So that will be third down. They're marked the ball at the 40. The line to gain's the 45. Tigers will go back and huddle it up. 4:50. Now, a false start against Mount Pleasant will mark it back. So they'll wipe out that gain and make it second down and 16. So the Tigers send two receivers right. I'm trying to read the quarterback's number. I'm maybe 31. Keen Yount. It's an unusual situation. We have fogged up press box windows here. It's hot outside and cool in here, and I didn't open the windows. It is 31 at quarterback, Yount. Yount's a ninth grade quarterback. Going to hand it off to the one back coming through, and not much there. They'll say no gain on the play. That handoff to number 30, J.T. Green. So bring up third down and long. Lost one. 3.5 minutes to play. Clock continues to roll. Tigers going to improve to 4-1. It's going to be the Colts dropping to 0-5. Mount Pleasant letting that play clock wind down. You can see the back judge looking at his watch. They look to the sideline. Hand is in the air, so 10 seconds on the play clock. Now let's start to get the play going. Hand it off, short gain, flags fly everywhere. In the area where it might be a hold. Clock continues to run. We'll see what the flag is. Face mask against West Stanley. Now the question is it automatic or is it's the mark-off should be just about enough for a first down anyway. So a 15-yard mark-off takes it to the 45, and that'll be a first down Mount Pleasant. 2:24, clock rolling. Mount Pleasant just about ready to put this one in the win column. Our friends over at Stanley News and Press let us know that Albemarle is leading Southwest Randolph 22-7 late third quarter on your Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. We'll start giving you some of our sponsors for tonight's game, and we appreciate their sponsorship throughout. North Lincoln 25, Statesville 14 into the third quarter. Mount Pleasant winding that clock down. They can run it out here most likely with 1:44 left. They bring a man in motion. They'll hand it off to him. Stacked up and then taken down inbounds for a loss of 3. Logan Davis Hilton with the carry. Tonight's broadcast have been brought to you by the Carolina Renaissance Festival. Weekends at the Renaissance Festival over on the Mecklenburg-Cabarrus County line, October and November, by the Southern Christmas Show coming up in November at the Park Expo Center in Charlotte. Also brought to you by Cannon Pharmacy, home of free delivery, by Cabarrus County's newspaper, the Independent Tribune, by Ben Minot, shop, click, and drive, benminot.com. Cannon Pharmacy, home of free delivery, by our friends at Wilkinson Funeral Home. And again, by Carolina Pizza Hut. Anytime's a great time to go to pizzahut.com, order up some pizza, some wings. Pizzahut.com. And again, those are our sponsors for tonight. There's a handoff, 42 seconds left. Tigers get a short gain to the 45-yard line, and that's just about going to do it. I think they'll line it up, and Tigers will win this one 42-0. They'll be 4-1 on the season. 0-5 for West Stanley, as West Stanley having a tough time of it. Again, tonight playing hard, but just coming up short here, and they'll continue to work as they get into conference play. Mount Pleasant not into conference play yet as well, and the teams will shake hands. Mount Pleasant with a big third quarter put this one away. They scored twice early in the first quarter. They came back and got 4 scores in the third quarter after having great field position. Mount Pleasant, again, winning 42-0. Tough day for West Stanley. West Stanley had poor field position just about on every possession tonight, and they wound up on the short end of this one. Well, for our sponsors, for everyone here at Mount Pleasant, we appreciate you joining us here. The final score is Mount Pleasant 42, West Stanley 0. You've been listening to Radio Free Cabarrus, 485 Sports. I'm Mark Plemmons. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for joining.